the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in the binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune and turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just a vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. In shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just a beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go.
Hermann Ebbinghaus was a German psychologist who lived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. He was fascinated by memory and wanted to understand how it worked, so he conducted many experiments on himself. One of his most famous discoveries is the forgetting curve. Imagine you learn a list of new words. Ebbinghaus found that you forget most of them very quickly, within the first few hours. Then, the forgetting slows down, and you remember some words for a longer time. This pattern of forgetting is what the forgetting curve shows. Thanks for reading No Mic Podcast Scribed by Facelesslingjutsu. Subscribe for free to receive new posts and support my work. He also found that if you study something repeatedly, it's better to spread out your study sessions over time rather than cramming it all at once. This is called the spacing effect. It's like watering a plant little by little instead of pouring a whole bucket of water on it at once. Ebbinghaus's work was groundbreaking because it showed that memory could be studied scientifically. He used careful experiments and measurements to understand how memory works, and his findings are still relevant today. His research has helped us understand how we learn and remember things, and it has even influenced how we study and teach. Hermann Ebbinghaus wasn't always focused on memory and psychology. He was born in Germany in 1850, the son of a merchant. As a young man, he actually went to university to study history and philology, which is the study of languages. It seems he was a bright student, but his interests started to shift towards philosophy. This was a time when philosophy and psychology were still closely linked, and many philosophers were interested in understanding the human mind. Interestingly, his studies were interrupted when he joined the army to fight in the Franco-Prussian War in 1870. This was a significant event in German history, and it seems Ebbinghaus felt it was his duty to participate. After the war, he went back to his studies and eventually earned a PhD in philosophy. It was during this time, while tutoring students to support himself, that he stumbled upon a book by Gustav Fechner, a pioneer in experimental psychology. This book sparked his curiosity about the mind and led him to dedicate his life to understanding memory. So, before becoming the famous psychologist we know today, Hermann Ebbinghaus was a student of history and languages, a soldier, and a philosopher. It was a chance encounter with a book that set him on the path to revolutionizing the study of memory. In 1873, he earned his PhD in philosophy from the University of Bonn. Shortly after, in 1876, he published his first paper titled Die Philosophie des Unbewussten von Eduard von Hartmann, The Philosophy of the Unconscious by Eduard von Hartmann. This paper was a critical analysis of the work of Eduard von Hartmann, a contemporary philosopher who explored the concept of the unconscious mind. Ebbinghaus, with his background in philosophy, delved into Hartmann's ideas, examining his arguments and offering his own perspectives. It's interesting to note that even in this early work, Ebbinghaus displayed a keen interest in understanding the human mind, albeit from a philosophical standpoint. This exploration of the unconscious likely laid some groundwork for his later shift towards the experimental study of memory. His second major work, and the one that truly launched his career and revolutionized the study of memory, was his book Über das Gedächtnis. Untersuchungen zur experimentellen Psychologie on Memory. Investigations on Experimental Psychology, published in 1885. This groundbreaking work detailed his self-experiments on memory, using nonsense syllables to control for prior meaning and associations. He meticulously recorded his learning and forgetting rates, leading to the formulation of his famous forgetting curve and insights into the spacing effect. This book was a landmark achievement, as it established a scientific approach to the study of memory. Ebbinghaus demonstrated that memory, a complex cognitive function, could be investigated through rigorous experimentation and quantitative analysis. Introduced the concept of nonsense syllables. This innovation allowed him to isolate the process of memorization from the influence of meaning, providing a more controlled way to study learning and forgetting. Presented the forgetting curve. This curve, visually representing the rapid initial decay of memory followed by a slower decline, became a cornerstone of memory research and continues to be relevant today. The serial position effect describes the phenomenon where people tend to remember items at the beginning and end of a list better than items in the middle. Imagine you're given a long list of words to memorize. You're most likely to recall the first few words. This is called the primacy effect, and the last few words. This is called the recency effect, more accurately than the words in the middle of the list. The serial position effect explains this U-shaped curve of recall accuracy across the list. He recognized the need for a dedicated space where researchers could share their findings and contribute to the growing body of knowledge in the discipline. So, in 1890, he teamed up with a physicist named Arthur Koenig to create just such a platform. Together, they launched the Zeitschrift für Psychologie und die Physiologie der Sinnesorgane, which translates to Journal of Psychology and Physiology of the Sense Organs. This wasn't just any journal, it quickly became a vital hub for psychologists and other scientists exploring the workings of the mind and senses. It provided a respected and reliable outlet for researchers to publish their studies, exchange ideas, and engage in the kind of intellectual discourse that drives scientific progress. By co-founding this journal, Ebbinghaus played a key role in fostering the development of psychology as a rigorous and independent scientific field. He helped to create a community of researchers, ensuring that new discoveries and insights could be disseminated and built upon, ultimately accelerating the advancement of our understanding of the human mind. His dedication to this area is evident in his 1893 publication of Theorie des Farbens Theory of Color Vision in the very journal he co-founded, the Zeitschrift für Psychologie und die Physiologie der Sinnesorgane. This wasn't a short, speculative piece, it was a fully developed theory that delved into the complexities of color perception. It shows that his interest in color wasn't just a side project, it was a substantial area of research for him. What made Ebbinghaus's approach to color vision particularly interesting was his focus on the cognitive aspects. While he certainly acknowledged the role of the eye in detecting light and color, he went beyond the simple mechanics of the eye itself. He argued that our perception of color isn't just a direct result of what our eyes see. Instead, he proposed that our brains actively process and interpret the information coming from our eyes, and that these higher-level cognitive processes play a crucial role in how we experience color. Ebbinghaus's interests weren't confined to the laboratory, he also applied his psychological insights to real-world problems, particularly in education. In 1897, he undertook a significant study in Breslau, Germany, focusing on the mental capacities of school children. This wasn't just a general observation of children in the classroom, it was a systematic investigation aimed at understanding how to measure and evaluate cognitive abilities. Imagine Ebbinghaus, a pioneer in experimental psychology, venturing into the classroom. He wasn't just interested in theory, he wanted to find practical ways to assess children's cognitive development. To do this, he developed a novel tool, the word completion test. This test involved presenting children with incomplete words, missing letters, and asking them to fill in the blanks. For example, he might give them C_T and see if they could complete it with cat or cot. The brilliance of this test lay in its simplicity and effectiveness. It wasn't just about vocabulary, it tapped into a range of cognitive processes, including language comprehension, problem solving, and the ability to retrieve information from memory. Ebbinghaus recognized that these skills were fundamental to learning and academic success. This study in Breslau wasn't just a one-off project. The word completion test he developed became a valuable instrument in the field of psychological assessment. It was adapted and refined, eventually becoming a component of various intelligence tests and other tools used to evaluate cognitive abilities. Ebbinghaus's work laid the groundwork for future research on intelligence and contributed to the development of standardized testing procedures that are still used today. He demonstrated the practical application of psychological research to education, showing how understanding cognitive processes could lead to better ways of measuring and supporting children's learning. His work in Breslau wasn't just about understanding children's minds, it was about finding ways to help them reach their full potential. In 1902, Hermann Ebbinghaus, a prominent figure in the field of psychology, published his comprehensive work titled Grundzüge der Psychologie, which translates to Principles of Psychology in English. This book served as a testament to Ebbinghaus's vast knowledge and deep understanding of the discipline. It offered a thorough overview of psychology, exploring its various aspects and intricacies. Principles of Psychology quickly gained popularity and became a widely used textbook in the field. Its comprehensive nature and clear explanations made it an invaluable resource for students and researchers alike. The book's success further solidified Ebbinghaus's reputation as a leading authority in psychology, cementing his place as a pioneer in the field. Psychology, an elementary textbook, was a significant work by Hermann Ebbinghaus, published in 1908. It represented his attempt to create an accessible and foundational text for the study of psychology. Unlike some of his more specialized works, this book aimed to introduce the core concepts and principles of the field to a broader audience, particularly those just beginning their exploration of psychology. It covered a range of fundamental topics, likely including perception, memory, a subject he was, of course, deeply familiar with, and other key areas of psychological inquiry. Essentially, Ebbinghaus sought to provide a clear and comprehensive introduction to the discipline, laying a groundwork for further study and understanding. Hermann Ebbinghaus, the pioneering psychologist who made significant contributions to our understanding of memory, passed away in 1909 at the age of 59. His death was caused by pneumonia, an infection that inflames the air sacs in one or both lungs. Reference and citation: Ebbinghaus, H. 1885. Über das Gedächtnis. Untersuchungen zur experimentellen Psychologie. Dunker and Humblot. Ebbinghaus, H. 1876. Die Philosophie de Unbewussten von Eduard von Hartmann. University of Bonn. Ebbinghaus, H. 1890. Co-founded the journal Zeitschrift für Psychologie und Physiologie der Sinnesorgane with Arthur Koenig. Ebbinghaus, H. 1893. Theorie des Farbenshens. Zeitschrift für Psychologie und Physiologie der Sinnesorgane. Ebbinghaus, H. 1897. Developed the word completion test during his study of the mental capacities of school children in Breslau, Germany. Ebbinghaus, H. 1902. Grundzüge der Psychologie. Wilhelm Engelmann.
Mics on the floor where they drop like bombs. Faceless voices running all the cons. Digital whispers in a binary night. No light, no face, pure sound, no sight. Stories unfold in the dark, unscrolled. Echoes of silence, secrets untold. Waves crash loud in this audio cave. No mic, no fame, just the sound we crave. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Hidden in shadows, voices untamed. No need for spotlight, no claim to fame. Just the beat of life in a stream of thought. Every word a punchline, no need to be taught. Just listen close, no visuals needed. Raw conversation, unprocessed, unseated. Feel the pulse in every sentence said. No distractions, just thoughts in your head. Whispers of the streets, rumbling through. Faceless yet vivid, a world in view. No mic, just souls, connecting in flow. Pure and raw, let the rhythm go. Pure and raw. Pure and raw. Silence break, raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Tune in, turn up, let the silence break. Raw, unfiltered, hear the earthquake. No mic needed, just the vibe that's real. Faceless words you can touch and feel. Pure and raw.
Okay.